Now, Dara, listen, whatever you do, you cannot fall asleep.
I'm trying to do a good snore. What's a good... To force a snore? That's so awkward. That's more of a pig, like...
I'm like watching and reviewing your sinuses right now as you try and do that.
I know. Oh my god, the sleep study scene in this movie felt very personal to me. Not me setting up this, being like, Emily, we're going to start the podcast with you telling me I'm so sleepy because I'm canonically so sleepy.
Which, I mean, fair enough. Everyone knows at this point. Yeah, also true.
Honk shoo, honk shoo. me. Maybe one of those. Hi, everyone. Sorry, that was bad. Welcome to the Swamp. It's our podcast. It's an acronym.
Say some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And it's spooky horror month here on the Swamp Podcast. And had you ever seen this?
No, had you?
No. I think I could be quoted as saying within the past year, I don't know any of these villains. I don't know what movies they're from. I don't know who Freddy Krueger is. I don't, I really had no, the Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, match them to their original movie. I think I am now on a much better track than I previously was. I'm getting my stories straight here. And,
absolutely.
And tonight we're doing Mr. Freddy, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 1984 Wes Craven
classic.
I was gonna say franchise, but I don't think he directed or wrote any of the sequels, so can't really speak to that.
Yeah.
But did he do all the Scream ones?
He did most of them. He did a hell of a lot of them.
So it's this is the franchise he birthed and then gave away.
Yeah,
and then
right.
Scream was the franchise that he birthed and kept, you know?
Yeah, this is Quinn Fabre's bastard daughter.
Not Quinn Fabre.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I've never seen this either. We're kind of catching up on some big horror this week. If you've never been to the Swamp before, hi, my name is Dara. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Emily.
Hi.
And we just talk about movies every week, just whatever. This is not educational. We're just shooting the shit, being silly. And we're introducing Johnny Depp this week, I guess. Little did I know.
I mean, yeah.
Honestly, all I knew was that picture of him in the slutty little crop top, where people always use that as a reference image as to why don't men wear crop tops anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
A little did I know it was from this movie. Couldn't have told you.
That?
No,
really?
But I've certainly seen that picture before.
Well, yes,
obviously.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And I'll staunchly start off this podcast as taking an anti-Johnny Depp stance.
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Just want to clear the air on that. While he is quite dreamy and, really giving it some hip bones in this movie, shall I say. Yeah. Honestly, his performance in this actually did nothing for me and was actually objectively kind of not great. But him as an actor,
he's just
over
a boy.
time, he's a quote unquote complicated figure. But I think ultimately we can all agree that he's a piece of shit, and it's pretty good that he's not really employed anymore. And anytime his name pops up in the news, I'm like, why are we giving this man work? It's like Chris Brown levels of why are we giving this man work? It's honestly embarrassing.
Exactly.
If you work with him, it's embarrassing. I'm pretty sure he self-produced a movie that lost money. There was some post-trial Johnny Depp movie that literally was such a box office failure that it was detrimental. Don't quote me on that though. But yeah, pretty anti Johnny Depp stance over in this corner.
Yeah, not a fan.
But yeah, I guess we're introducing him here. I never really knew he was in this. I never really gave too much thought about it.
Well, he's fine. Well, yeah, because this isn't a real performance. You know?
He's hardly in it. Yeah, he's hardly in it. He hardly does anything other than watch TV and fucking sleep.
Yeah, he just has fluffy hair and that's it.
Right. I guess I was reading in an interview that Wes Craven hired him because his daughter was that guy's so dreamy. If you don't cast him, I'm gonna run away from home. And he was like, well, that's dramatic. That's a response. I guess that's a good sign, right? If my daughter's this crazy about him, we should probably get him on.
Yeah, I guess fair enough. I mean, it does make sense that and seeing the arc of his career.
I guess he also said that he was very inexperienced and very not confident, not very good and like needed a lot of coaching, even with the very minor role that it was. So I thought that was like an interesting tidbit that he was not really a natural, because he doesn't seem like himself. He's very young here. He doesn't really seem that he often gets cast with that sort of swag about him later in his life. It was weird to see him be kind of like meek and like almost. He wasn't quite like a nerdy type. He wasn't quite like Anthony Michael Hall, but he was like, there was the bad boy of the group, and he was supposed to be like
he was not the bad boy.
The clean jock type, which I thought was interesting. And interesting, later that typecast would not stick, I guess.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to see what he did in between now, and like I'm thinking about the arc between this and Edward Scissorhands in particular, because they're only 6 years apart.
Wild. Yeah, that's becoming like an entirely new actor identity persona was taken on in between the time of this movie and the time of his involvement with Tim Burton. He only
did 4 movies in between this one and Edward Scissorhands.
Can you tell them to me in chronological order, please?
Absolutely. Private Resort in 1985.
Don't know her.
A Slow Burn in 1986, Platoon in 1986, and then Crybaby in 1990, which is a John Waters film.
I'm also familiar. I've never seen that one, but I've seen a lot of screenshots of it, of people being like, Johnny Depp is so beautiful. I love the photos now where people are like aged like milk, and it's him now, and he just looks bad. But he's just an old man. Like he shouldn't still be hot at this age, but there are people who will die on the hill that he's still hot, and it's so embarrassing.
He looks like
look
dog
at him.
Shit.
He looks bad.
It's insane.
He's clearly clinging onto a certain aesthetic that's no longer working for him. That just is.
He literally still looks like what's his name? Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, right. Like
he never lost that character.
Yeah, which is like interesting. I wonder.
It's just an interesting one to really latch on to,
Yeah. Maybe, at least it's not Willy Wonka. Oh my god, did you hear that they're going to make a sequel of Timmy's Wonka? Timmy's getting a Wonka too.
Stop, are you serious?
So says
on
Twitter.
Well, should we talk about
the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest?
Yeah, should we talk about it?
Oh my god, I'm obsessed. Are you into like the Club Chalamet lore?
A little bit, yeah.
Like me as well, just a surface level, but like her like coked out paragraph long like Facebook posts
are so much.
This one where she's like, this benefits me in ways you cannot imagine. I'm like, girl, what? Like I'm so drawn. And like her selfies. She's
oh my god!
She's an icon.
I want whenever she's on.
I want to live in that delusion.
Her Ritalin prescription is probably so high.
Crazy.
Oh my god! But yeah. I mean, not much to say about it besides he showed up to his own contest, which is just I will say he does get some more aura points from me. He was kind of on the outs.
I'm
not sold on him.
Dating the Kardashian definitely was a red flag, but
right now he's in New York working on a Benny Safdie movie and showing up to a Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest. I don't know. He's kind of drawing me back in. I don't know.
Have you seen pictures of him with Gwyneth Paltrow that she's going to be the love interest?
Yeah,
I
love it. I love it.
I'm here for it. I fear that the little rat mustache is doing it for me.
Exactly.
I like this little high and tight haircut with the little rat mustache, and he's going to be good at ping pong. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Timothée Chalamet being dummy good at ping pong is gonna make me in a state, I fear.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Can we talk about what's hot right now?
What's hot?
Can we do a little like
what's
chit chat corner?
Yeah. You know what's hot to me?
Because
I'll start off.
Yeah,
you know what's hot to me? I don't know if this is controversial. I am pro putting brown contacts on Jeremy Allen White. They put brown contacts on him for Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, thank God, I saw, yeah.
And it reminds me of that meme of it's like the scary, like the crusty white dogs, and it's like, please put blue contacts in it, or please put brown contacts in it. It's scaring me. Like, literally, I'm like, he looks good. I'm like, he looks good with brown eyes. He should keep them in. We should implore We should explore practical things like contacts and makeup more often than like digital altering and I don't know, fucking whatever. But yeah, I appreciate the brown contacts. I think they look nice.
Absolutely.
What about you?
I want to talk about the trailer for, and this is a little bit of older news, but the trailer for Baby Girl.
Oh my god, Miss Nicole Kidman. Having
seen it in the theater before trailers or during trailers twice now, I'm sad. Oh my god, I will be there on Christmas Day jerking off in the theater.
Yes, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing it in a theater yet. I've only watched it on my phone through Twitter, I think, where you sent it to me. So I haven't seen it in a theater yet, but it's, yeah. I'm excited as well. I think Mr. Harris Dickinson is a lovely young man with a great deal of talent.
Oh my god. Yeah, don't get me started.
He's gonna play John Lennon in the Beatles, the 4 Beatles biopic project.
First of all, none of that's confirmed. Because really? Paul Mescal just said something about it not being confirmed.
Oh.
And how he would love to be involved. I don't think any of that is true.
Oh. It's just,
I don't know.
Is discussing film on Twitter not a reputable news source?
Does that? Yeah.
Is Pooh Crave not a reputable news source anymore? God. Where can a girl get some reputable information on the Beatles biopic that I already hate? I'm like, I fucking hate this movie and they haven't done anything about it. I just think it's so unnecessary. I don't need to hear about the fucking Beatles.
He doesn't look like John Lennon.
He could, maybe.
I'm sure a lot of them could.
Wig down? I don't know. Whatever.
I think Barry as Ringo makes sense because they got the matching noses. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Barry Keoghan's kind of a strikingly unique face that I feel like you shouldn't, like, you have to cast somebody a little more generic. Like the guy that got to play George, he looks like every other white man, or apparently, where I read my fake news, whoever they casted as George. I don't know this man, but he just looks like a white guy.
George.
It's fucking perfect. Just nothing distinguishable or striking.
I am pleased that Paul Mescal has started the Gladiator press tour. Loving that, eating up every single part of that. Saoirse Ronan gagging everyone on Graham Norton, though.
Obsessed. Graham Norton, they just did on Drag Race UK, they just did a challenge where the drag queens just had to be on Graham Norton and just like do a Graham Norton. He was just there and I was like, this is my dream. This is my dream. To get up in a costume, to get up and go sit with some randos and talk to Graham Norton. Like, I'm obsessed. And so many of them did that too. I'm like, how are you bad at this? I'm doing this in the shower. Every time I'm like letting my conditioner set in, I'm like, so Graham, thanks for having me.
Exactly. When I realize it's actually 3 a.m. and I'm in my bedroom and not on the chair in Graham Norton's studio,
I'm like doing the hand motions and I'm like,
hey, promoting my new album.
Right, yeah. Oh, it was really great working with Dame Judi Dench. Yeah, I'm so glad she couldn't be here. Yes. She's a national treasure. I'm obsessed. I know you've had her on the show before, Graham. You guys are old friends. I did my research. I know this about you. He's actually a recurring guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and I'm obsessed. Sense. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, who does he owe money to? Like, why does he owe RuPaul a favor? I want to know the lore.
Yeah. Who could say? But the biggest thing today that I wanted to talk about was the trailer for Queer.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
Have you seen it yet? You haven't seen it yet? Ooh.
I've seen one screen grab of people looking dewy, and like in the sun-kissed. A sun-kissed Daniel Craig is what I've seen. Yes. But yeah, I haven't watched the trailer yet.
But it is very Call Me By Your Name font. So I'm excited. Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
He's gonna cut. Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot of new stuff from Luca. I feel like Bones and All felt very different, and then Challengers felt very different from anything I'd seen before. So I'm kind of excited to get that coziness. Hopefully.
Yeah, back to his sort of bread and butter.
Give me the good stuff.
But speaking of good stuff,
should we talk about
not this movie?
Should we talk about the movie that we decided to watch this week?
Yeah, I thought it was ultimately good, and I can see why people really like it. But I think you put a good stamp on it when you said, like, it's clear that this was the first horror movie, and that Scream was like the better later iteration, like learn from the mistakes sort of thing. Because while this, I think, incredibly low budget, a lot of really cool practical effects and a lot of really smart filmmaking, good screenwriting, things were actually scary at moments where it was still very campy, very funny. You know, I wasn't expecting to like actually be scared at any parts, and all the blood squirting as a column up out of Johnny Depp's bed. I was like, they kind of got me. Like, that was kind of scary.
Can we just talk about, like, can we just break it up? Because this movie, there's a lot that I wanted to like about it, and there's a lot that I just couldn't get past, I think. So I want to talk about the good things first, and then we can just shit on it for the rest of it.
Sure. So what did you
want to break it up into two parts?
Yeah. So
I think visually, I loved this movie. This felt like a feast for the eyes.
Classic. And again, I was like, and it's like pre-Scream, right? So it's like you can kind of see the same like director style. Really smart, concise to a tight 90 that still had some like nice long lingering shots and like did not skimp on making things look nice or cinematography or set design just because it was short. I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think visually I loved it. I loved the cinematography. I like the colors a lot, and I don't know if that's just because it was the 80s or if that's because of the actual filmmaking. Loved that. I think that the practical effects were so fucking dope. I think that there's a lot of things that were bad about this movie, but like it really keeps me hanging on when those like really sick and visually fucked moments happen. What else? It's like weird enough that the plot keeps pushing forward. I think Freddy Krueger is so cunty. I think he's probably one of my more favorite horror villains at this point.
Interesting. I found him
what did you think of him? I thought he was hysterical, and I thought that like he was gross and like very much in like a Beetlejuicy.
Yes. So I'm gonna put him smack in the middle between Ghostface and Beetlejuice. Ghostface from Scream, obviously more silent, ominous, but still does have that sense of humor, right? Like the phone calls, still kind of cunty and serving, but like ultimately more of like an ominous, more of a Michael Myers type, kind of like I'm looming in the background waiting to strike. And then we've got Beetlejuice, who's a full-on drama queen, camp. I'm monologuing, right? And Freddy Krueger kind of monologue, but like Freddy Krueger kind of sits in this awkward space in between for me where I'm like, he's being silly, but he's not really talking a lot. Or when he is talking, it's more like just kind of barking scary things like, haha, I'm gonna get you. But he never really like stops to pontificate in any real sense, which is fine. Sure. But I'm like, if you're gonna be kind of silly and make me laugh, I'm like, stop for a minute and be kind of serious and serve me a line. And then, you know,
right, it's just the snappy one-liners.
Right. I wish there was a little more of that because I could tell he had that in him, like he had that energy. Yes. And I almost wanted a little bit more of like the Beetlejuice, like I'm gonna do like a punchy one-liner before I stab you. Sure. Ha ha ha. But ultimately, of course, the whole design of him, the striped sweater with the fedora with the things on, like all you need to make an effective horror movie is good character design on your villain, and like that's a baseline. Like you've already kind of moved into a section that a lot of horror movies don't have. Just make an iconic villain. Done.
Literally, and that's one thing that Wes Craven does really well is that he does not make me wait. One thing that I do not like about Halloween or like Friday the 13th or something like that is I have to wait 35 fucking minutes until we're into this movie till you actually introduce the villain to me and still he stops fucking brooding. Dude, right out of the gate, Wes Craven says, here he is, baby. You want to know who this bitch is? He's going to cut his fingers off right in front of you and say, look at this.
Yeah, he's oozing pus and he's right in front of you.
Oh my God. The cutting open his chest and maggots pouring out.
It's so funny because they wanted it to be more pustular. Like they wanted it to be way grosser, and a lot of the practical effects got scaled back because it had to be like a costume that a person was wearing rather than like a puppet or an animatronic that like, because when you get that much wet goo involved, it no longer can be, you know, like a practical costume. You gotta like do something else. And they were like, because I guess the budget for this movie already incredibly low. what was set aside for effects, like $56,000 or something crazy, like no money. And I thought the stuff in this, while obviously very 80s, looked really good. The telephone with the little tongue, the little mouth, his arms, his sweater and his arms like growing out to be the length of the hallway. Like, I just thought that shit was so cool, and very innovative. And then I love a movie always that when you watch it, it makes you think, oh my God, I wonder how they did that. Because obviously it was the 80s. There was no CG. It's stunt people. Yeah. Like, you can get that sense. And then you Google it and you're like, oh, that's so cool. They used fishing rods and they reeled it in on from either side. And I just feel like I don't get that so much anymore.
Well, we just don't have innovation like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's people aren't doing like fun, cool, hands-on movie stuff a lot, or at least not in a way that I witness it and think, oh, I wonder, like, I need to know how they did that. Because now the answer is usually just like, the computers, duh.
Yeah, exactly. It takes all the curiosity and the fun out of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know in a roundabout way, we have been shitting on the Wicked movie this whole time without actually saying it. But the new, just every time they release new clips of it, the backlit, like it looks gray, ashen, and backlit. It looks awful. I love that meme that's like, gays in West Hollywood, stop going to the club. We need gaffers. Like, we need gaffers. We need to light these movies. Yeah. Please.
It looks like I'm watching the trailer through like a badly washed glass. You know when it gets foggy?
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm like cleaning my glasses and I'm like, nope, not me. Just the choices here.
Yeah, and that's a movie that has millions of dollars.
Right? And
one thing movie, I will say,
the marshmallow stairs, when that bitch ran up the stairs and the stair turned into goop and it was clearly just like marshmallow fluff, it looked not great. Like, you know, from a practical standpoint, it's like, okay, there's a bunch of weird goo on the steps, but it's like, I don't care, because it was so silly to watch her foot go through it and be like, woo.
It's fun. Like, it is still fun, at least. One other thing that I thought was real fun, and I mean, also lends itself to the fact that the budget was nothing, was the soundtrack for this movie. Is you can tell someone was just like, yeah, I know a guy that has a synth. Can we just have him do the soundtrack?
Right.
Is that good? Because we're out of money and we can only spend $200.
We only have these last 3 bags of Coke left, and I know a synth player who's a little desperate. Like, we're just gonna have to make it work today. No, it was, I like it. I mean, again, maybe capsulating things in the 80s kind of gives a certain level of forgiveness, I think, to me. For things of that sense, like whether it's actually good or bad, it's just sort of iconically 80s. So I just put it into that category, whether it was like good or bad. But it's like, ooh, creepy synths. It's the 80s. And the color grading.
It's
like
the past.
Is this really good, or was it just the 80s? Like, I don't know.
Exactly. I'm like, was this intentional, or is this just the 80s aesthetic? Or
But the thing that I was like struggling with a little bit is like the whole. So I guess the whole concept of this movie is that Freddy Krueger he's the boogeyman in your dreams. Yeah. And when you dream about him, he can hurt you in your dream and it translates to real life. But if you wake up in real life, you escape him. Mm-hmm. But you can also, throughout the movie, we learn, you can like pull him and things from the dream, you know, like across the dream border into the real world. Mm-hmm. Like she takes his hat and she takes, you know, some other things at some points to like prove to her family members, like, I'm not crazy. Like, this is a real thing that's happening to me. But then there was like also the ever-present element of like punishing horny teens, which I understand. Of course, yes. I understand why it's there, and it's like we're doing a little bit of a satire, we're doing a bit of a genre commentary, but like our main girl, poor fucking, what was her name, Nancy. That actress was just, she was trying so hard and she was so awful. I thought she was I thought she was horrendous.
That's my thing.
She was.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Is there are so many things that I liked about this movie, and there's so many things I can suspend my disbelief with the marshmallow stairs. You know, I can get behind like some really like shitty little one-liners and everything like that. Nancy, I'm sorry, did such a bad job. I couldn't get around it. And I can usually get around it and I can get past it when someone's doing a bad job. This is some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life.
I was like, I hope he gets your ass, and I hope he gets your cop dad next, bitch, because I don't give a fuck whether you outlive this or not. I don't give a shit about you, Johnny Depp. Honestly, you know who I was rooting for? The kid in jail.
Yeah,
Rod.
literally.
I was rooting for Rod. I was like, Rod is innocent. Rod, although I will say this movie's a prime example of men in horror movies just being so useless. I love his girlfriend has been possessed by a spirit and is on the ceiling, writhing around in her own blood, and he's just going, Tina!
I'm gonna get you. Yeah.
I'm like, Rod, get your ass up and pull her down. You're 6'5".
Do something.
You're a huge man. Get her down from there. Like, what? I understand he was in shock, but I was like, Rod, are you kidding? Sure. And then we've got Glenn, Johnny Depp, who she's like, can you stay awake for 5 minutes and monitor me? And he's like, no problem, babe. Like, no. That was good. That was an okay snore. See, I just had to get into it. I had to lead up to it.
There you go. Nice.
Do you snore? Do you know?
Yes, I do snore.
You're a snorer?
Yeah, I'm not like deep snore, but yeah, I do a snore.
And if you're a U.S. citizen, here's your reminder to get out there and vote. I think this might actually come out after the election. No, that's not even true at all.
No.
That's not even true at all.
Tomorrow.
This is coming out canonically tomorrow. I'm sorry, I already voted, so it feels over to me. Anyways, hi everyone. Go to vote.org to see if you're registered to vote. I guess a week before. I'm gonna convince you actually right now. If you're not registered to vote, this is what's gonna do it. Along with all the other ads and QR codes everywhere. Hi, Mom, Jen. How are you?
I am good. I'm really, really tired.
Oh, well, we're keeping it low key.
I kept you up.
No, that's okay. Just
keeping it low key.
I went to the Bruins game last night, and then we had a
wild
full-on safety inspection today at work,
Ooh.
which is very stressful.
Well, we're here to do something a little less stressful, which is chocolate or vanilla. It's your interim podcast segment where you say 2 and sometimes 3 things, and we all just say our favorite one of the group. That's the only rules there are. But sometimes there are themes. And is there one this week?
There is. Oh, by the way, we passed. We're very safe. It wasn't stressful because my place is unsafe under my management. It's very safe.
Jen's like, just nobody call OSHA. Like, it's fine.
This is Halloween costumes, which I think I've done before, but you just got to say which one you would rather be.
Okay, so this is for me. This is for me to dress up as. Yes. Is the prompt.
Exactly.
Okay. Because some things are for other people. Some things are good for other people, but they're just not for me.
No, would
there's
you
a difference.
rather dress
I can
up?
respect. Okay.
Beetlejuice or the shrunken head Bob guy from Beetlejuice?
Oh, I mean, Emily has been Beetlejuice. You've pulled off a pretty solid Beetlejuice costume in the past, I would say.
That was probably my sexiest Halloween costume on it. And it wasn't very sexy, but it was like really fresh.
You looked good.
I looked mint. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a way to do a really hot girl Beetlejuice kind of moment.
Yeah. Butches, you can do it.
I'll pick Beetlejuice. I think the shrunken head, that's a lot of work for a kind of niche reference. And also, like, I don't know, I'm not stepping on that territory. I'll go for the classics. When I go to the club, I want to hear those club classics. I want to see the Beetlejuice costume on Halloween, you know?
I don't know. Some of the niche Halloween costumes, all the gay Halloween, like, is hysterical. Someone said, what was it? They were Lady Gaga's Stolen Dogs. That was a good one. Loved that.
That's a pull. That happened like a couple of years ago.
But still.
That's not fresh. Like, that's really funny.
There's some really good ones out there this year. But obviously I'm going to go for Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Beetlejuice too. Next one is Deadpool or Wolverine.
I don't want to see any motherfucking morph suits of Deadpool. You can do it for Spider-Man because for some reason the wrinkles look less bad on that one. But I hate nothing more than an unsteamed, poly, polyform fucking material, 4-way stretch, unsteamed, creased because it was folded in the fucking Amazon package, ass morph suit. I hate it. It's iron it, do something, wash it once before wearing it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the creases, the fold creases from it having been vacuum seal shipped, tacky.
Oh yeah.
And that's what Deadpool is giving me, tacky. At least Wolverine, you know, when those they ship in a box, so they can't get creased and you don't have to iron them. So wear your Wolverine claws, whatever.
I think the Wolverine one is just more fun. I would want to be Wolverine. I like his claws. I don't.
And if you have chest hair,
yeah, Deadpool just isn't. I don't find Deadpool very cool personally. I think Wolverine is just cooler in general. So I would want to be Wolverine.
Yeah, I'll go Wolverine too, like the shoulder pad aspect of it all.
Yeah.
That kind of.
I forgot this was also about me. I'm like, I'm going to show my chest hair.
Yeah, right?
I'm like, I wish. I could have some fake chest hair. That might be kind of fun.
Next one, Wednesday or anybody from Lady Bridgerton?
Lady Bridgerton. You just mean the Bridgerton.
Yeah, Bridgerton.
Wednesday Addams, easy. I have bangs. And I have hair that you can braid, so that's pretty solid. But I'm gonna go daring, and I'm gonna dress up as someone from Bridgerton. Now, who I'm gonna dress up as, I guess that's up for you to decide, and whoever people just guess I am, I'll say yes. I think I probably look the most like Eloise, but her outfits are a little less iconic because she usually just wears like fucking powdered blue, like whatever. But being like cunty Lady Whistledown, what's her name, Nicola Coughlin, with your titties pressed up to your chin. Oh my god, yeah. That could be a moment.
Trisha Paytas did.
Oh, really? This year? I should... Yep. Oh my god, shouting that out. Then definitely... Oh my god, then yes, Bridgerton.
Yeah. I just know myself, and I'm gonna go Wednesday. I've been Wednesday before. It's classic. It's safe. And sometimes that's what I want.
I will agree with you and go with Wednesday. Next one, Elphaba or Glinda?
I just was talking about face paint, how face paint is just a real bitch, but with Elphaba, you just do black, and that's easy. Whereas a Glinda, you have to find like a hot pink dress that is also giving Broadway witch, which is tough. Whereas a black dress, you can just kind of do that. It's a black
dress, yeah.
And so I think I would go Elphaba just for ease and icon.
Yeah, I'm going to begrudgingly say Elphaba on this one. I think I could handle the green, and I think I would have fun with it a lot more than Glinda. Could you imagine? I would be so out of my element.
See, I would like to be Glinda because I would feel like a Disney princess.
Yes.
That matches you. Yeah.
Yeah. I want you to float down in the bubble. Like, that's very fitting.
Yeah, if anyone was going to float down in a bubble, it'd be Jen.
Oh, thank you. Next one is Harley Quinn or Joker.
I'm the Joker, baby. I inadvertently wear these like purple striped pants with like a chartreuse green shirt. They're just two pieces of clothing that I own that I will sometimes put together, and I'll be out in public and I'm like, fuck, I'm Joker cosplaying on accident. Like I didn't mean to show up at Stop and Shop and just like in full Joker garb, but like, you know, my eyeliner's like a little small. Like, I've got some chapstick on the side of my cheeks. Like everyone thinks I've got some bad acne. Everyone's like, wow, your Joker makeup's great. Like that's my vibe. So yeah, I accidentally do Joker quite often.
As much as like every Joker actor really annoys me, I'm gonna say Joker. I would have probably a lot of fun with that, honestly.
I would be the regular Harley Quinn, like the original with the pink and blue ponytails. Although this is way off topic, but I've always thought Jennifer's body at the end, how she's wearing the orange prison jumpsuit with a hoodie and bunny slippers.
I
think that would be...
That is a good one. That is a really good one, honestly. Jen, and you clocked that.
That's a good one to do with your hot girlfriend who wears the Jennifer, the heart sweater. And
oh my god! If someone out there listening, if
lesbians,
if there's a lesbian duo that's done that or is doing that this year,
there has to have been.
Send it in. I want to see it
for my personal research.
Next one is Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers.
Oh, we were just talking obviously about Freddy Krueger's iconic sweater, but I'm a bitch who owns a jumpsuit. Like, I own the full. I also inadvertently do full Michael Myers, like, on occasion as well. I would just need the mask. Whereas Freddy is a little bit more intricate. I don't own a fedora, but I do own a denim jumpsuit.
I don't believe that you don't own a fedora.
Oh, not you reading me down again, Chen.
Oh my goodness.
I did openly admit to dressing like the Joker on the regular, so that's actually very fair.
Hold on, sorry, what was Freddy Krueger or
Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers?
I do think I'll go Mike Myers on this one.
Easy.
Yeah, it's easy. Also, I would never want to have to be like tasked with finding a red and green sweater
that I'll never fucking wear again.
Painful. Yeah, that I will never wear again.
Also, again, if you want to commit Mike Myers, you can just wear a mask. He's wearing a mask in the movie. But if you want to be Freddy Krueger, you have to do goopy face makeup. You have to have some sort of like.
Do that. I don't want to do that.
I'd have to a rubber mask or some sort of like, prosthetic situation. It's too much work. I mean, yeah, respect for you, but we're talking about me. We're talking about me here.
Yeah, like, I know, like, if I'm wearing the Mike Myers mask, I know I'm taking it off 5 minutes into the Halloween party, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a low-effort costume.
Then you're just a mechanic, and that works as well.
And hey, yeah. Doesn't matter.
I'm with you guys. I'll do Michael Myers, but I will not wear the mask for very long.
Exactly.
Next one is Katara or Aang.
I feel like Aang, you can't really do an Aang unless you're bald.
Oh,
I'm not bald. But my husband is bald, so he could be Aang and I could be Katara, so that would work.
Not bad.
Of course, I am more...
That would actually be really good for you guys.
I'm more of a Prince Zuko
I feel like
type
you could pull that off
myself, but...
You could put Hank in a black morph suit and get the mask when Zuko is in his, like, ninja phase.
Yeah, the blue devil or whatever he is. Yeah, that would be pretty fire as well.
That seems more like you guys.
Mm-hmm. And I could be Uncle Iroh.
Oh my god. If you were Zuko and Iroh, oh Dara, that'd be so good.
That would be so funny.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Write that down for next year.
Okay, yeah, write that down. I'm like, I've been watching on TikTok tutorials of how girls braid their long hair in the front to look like really convincing mustaches and beards for rent fairs.
Oh,
of like,
my
God. With like Viking braids into beads and stuff, but it's just like your hair. So I'm like, I gotta grow my hair out to my ass so that I can have an intricately braided Viking beard.
That's really cool.
That's a project as well.
That.
So maybe I can double down and do a nice beard at Halloween as well.
Yeah, we'll give it 6 years.
Right. Yeah.
So you grow that out and come back to it.
My shoulder length hair at best.
Right.
My collarbone length hair. My rat tails will be long enough, so I'll only be able to have like a little mustache and a little goatee.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go ahead and say Aang because that's one that I wish I did while I was bald.
I will go with Katara. And next one, Princess Leia, and I mean the white robe with the fun braid buns.
No, I don't mean the sexy Jabba the Hutt Leia. I would never specify that
OG Leia or Rey.
Rey's hair is more doable to me because
I like Rey's hair.
The two little ponytails, like they did kind of pop off with that one, but
it's cute. I would wear that.
I gotta go classic Leia. That's just better.
Unfortunately, I do adore Carrie Fisher, so I'd have to agree with you there.
And you've certainly been her before, have you not? For Halloween, a Princess Leia moment? Yeah. No, you were only ever doing Jedi shit? Like, you never switched it up?
Only ever Obi-Wan.
You never did a Leia? Wow.
Never.
That
Alyssa was Leia.
me.
No.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
You're like, I delegated that task to the appropriate team member.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that one was taken. No, I'm going to Rhode Island Comic Con this weekend, actually.
I'm obsessed.
And I am fulfilling a childhood dream that I didn't realize I had, and I'm going as Obi-Wan. My brother has done the full cosplay for me. I've got the lightsaber. I'm more excited about this than any of my Halloween plans.
Yeah, I will be sharing this on the Swamp Instagram sure from your brother's cosplay account.
Yes,
Emily's brother
is
like a professional level. Like he 3D prints shit himself, and he knows how to sew.
Do it.
He knows how to sew like any
and he
fucking
sews
grandma
really well. He sews really, really well. Honestly,
very impressive shit. He's like, I whipped up a cape last night. I'm like, what the hell?
Easy.
Like that's.
Easy. And he polishes, he makes so many costumes and so quickly. It's insane, dude.
Mm-hmm. And they look good.
He's been doing a Dracula one. I think he just finished it, like right in time for Halloween. So he's going crazy stupid on it. He's going to be Darth Maul for the Comic-Con. So it's going to be
so good. Yeah. Have you guys practiced? Have you done your your prop work yet? So that you guys
we're just gonna raw dog it.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I've got to help him with the makeup. He said I'm the least qualified person to do that, but we're gonna see how it goes.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
I'm stoked. I got a haircut and everything.
You're like, I showed my barber a picture of you and McGregor with no shame.
Mm-hmm. Last one: Pikachu or Charmander?
Pikachu. Yeah, Pikachu, more identifiable from like just a wide berth. Like you can just be yellow and kind of vaguely spiky with red cheeks and it will work.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Pikachu on that one. I was never a Pokemon guy really, so I'm just gonna go for the most known.
Yeah. Back in the day, my sister made my nephew a Pikachu costume, and that thing made the rounds. You guys all wore it at least twice.
Love.
It was also just kind of fun to put on because it did have like the big tail attachment. Like she kind of popped off with that Pikachu outfit.
Nice.
So it was. I remember we had it at the house, and sometimes I would just like put it on to run around. Like it was just fun to wear.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a weighted, like Grimace type kind of bodysuit. So it's like kind of like wearing a bean bag. So it's sort of nice.
Yeah,
into it.
Yeah, I'll go Pikachu also. And that's it for fun Halloween
I
costumes.
loved this.
Pikachu, gotta catch 'em all, chocolate or vanilla with Jen. That's it for this week. Thank you, Jen, as always, for being here. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
All right, I love you guys. Have an awesome night.
Goodbye. And I love you.
Goodbye.
But I'm going to pause. The sleep study scene was very funny. As someone, I've gotten a couple of sleep studies done in my day, and I thought the sleep study representation in film was quite funny. I love that her mom was there with her. Like, her mom sat with the sleep doctor, and he was like, oh, now it's bumping up to a 9, which means the dream is turning bad. And the mom's like, interesting. I'm like, why is she there? Like
yeah, as if she has a fucking clue.
I'm like, I wish my mom got to stay during my sleep study. Like, what? And then the sleep doctor being like, oh, the numbers are correlating. I meant to like corroborate this because I really wanted to know if like reading an EKG during sleep, like REM, can you like depict whether dreams are good or bad, like based on like heart rate and stuff. I wonder if that's like, is that a measurable scientific thing, or was that just in this movie? He's like, it's a level 9 nightmare. Like, I don't know. But
I'm guessing it's bullshit. But
sleep studies are kind of whack though, because they have these ones that you take at home and you just like put these stickers on yourself and sleep, and you're kind of like, I'm not really a professional,
qualified.
But okay. But then you go and you do it at the hospital and they put all the stickers on you, but then you have to sleep in a hospital bed and you're kind of like, well, whatever readings they get on this are not equating to how it is when I sleep at home, because it's like, so the whole thing is just kind of like confusing.
All a farce. It's all a farce.
Really make, but I mean, you can measure certain like measurable things while someone is asleep, like brainwave patterns and stuff like that. But the whole concept of it, I always just thought was really weird, because I was like, okay, you said that I woke up a certain number of times, but like, of course I woke up. I was in a fucking hospital bed. Like, weird.
Yeah, I'm not on my Tempur-Pedic, dog.
Right? Yeah, right. I didn't have my little nighttime routine. And they say bring your stuff
you said
so
I
you can
bring
make
my
it normal.
Squishmallow.
Right? They do. They try to encourage you bring some stuff that makes you comfortable, but I'm I'm not going to doom scroll on my phone in front of a doctor. I'm not going to do what I would actually do.
Yeah, for 2 hours. Yeah.
Right.
That's too humiliating. Yeah.
I'm not going to watch 9 episodes of a television show through TikTok clips. In front of a doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's embarrassing. But when she was asleep and they were oh, everything's looking normal, leading up to maybe she was just overreacting. Her sleep is so normal. They cut to her and this bitch is mouth breathing. That is a measurable sleep issue. You should not be mouth breathing in your sleep. I was he's yeah, she's fast asleep, textbook perfect, and they cut to her fully mouth breathing.
I think that's just hold on. Sorry, Heather Langenkamp. I think that's just her face. I think she can't help it. I think that's why part of this movie looked so bad.
Too much open mouth, maybe.
It's just okay. Because did you also realize that it was whenever she was trying to emote, she couldn't help but look like she was smiling, almost. Do you know what I mean?
Or I almost her distressed emotion felt very off to me. I just think her responses, I was this feels unnatural. Yeah. It was her responses didn't seem. Yeah, but I honestly, I chalked it up to all bad acting. It was clear that she was a bad actor from the very start, so I kind of worked, my mentally gymnastics worked around it to be I understand, I think, what the writer is trying to convey here, that this girl is clearly just not getting. Because I was also curious. I think that
this movie could have been, really, really good. Maybe if they just had a better actress.
Both Courtney Cox and Demi Moore auditioned for the role. I don't know why this girl.
What did this girl have? Yeah.
What did she witness?
What did she have on Wes Craven? Yeah.
What did she overhear? I hate to be shit talking this poor girl so harshly.
Sorry, but I mean,
it was not good.
Also, no, I feel at this point too, and what is it, 40 years out? Come on, we can be realistic.
Yeah,
we can be yeah.
She probably has 9 houses. She does not give a fuck what anyone thinks.
I think this is probably the biggest thing that she's ever done. So
probably
from my quick glance at IMDb. However, I will say that one thing I was happy about this movie is that we got it in this month because watching Final Destination and seeing the kill between, oh god, I don't know, the best friend getting strangled in the shower, and then watching the prison kill in this one where he gets hanged by Freddy Krueger, but it looks the exact same as the blanket is being
wrapped around his neck.
Wrapped around his neck, and he can't control it.
Which one did you...
That was fun, and...
What if you were to award one for otherworldly spirit causing a self-asphyxiation?
Oh, one or the other?
Yeah, which one are you giving the trophy to?
I actually think that I'm going to give it to Final Destination, because now seeing it and understanding, it's so stupid because it's a reference, that makes me appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think, watching the water just, work its way across the room, I just think is stupid and silly, so I'm gonna go for that one.
No, I like that one too. I think also his performance of the exasperated kicking and clawing at the tub and continuing, whereas this one was sort of he just kind of got pulled up the wall and then the cops came in and cut him down and then he just kind of died. A little anticlimactic, a little honestly, but I did really like the sort of slithering snaky motion of the sheet, moving across. That was very cool. And I liked that guy. I looked him up. That actor's name is Jesus. Oh, maybe Jesus, but how would you pronounce the nickname?
That's usually...
Well, yes, that actually makes a lot more sense now that you're saying it out loud. How would you pronounce the nickname JSU?
No idea.
I don't know. That's what he goes by.
Sure.
Wanted to see what else he was in because I thought he was a little bit cute, but he's not really been in a lot.
Oh, very cute.
He was doing it for me. Except other than when he was being useless and being like, Tina! Not cute. Help her out.
Yeah, he was also not a good actor, but...
But he was better than Johnny Depp, honestly. I'm like, if any of you are giving me any reason to care, oh my god, Johnny Depp's character, I didn't give a fuck about him. I did not understand. So again, the presence of like punishing horny teens, I think makes a little bit more sense in the Scream franchise, because I don't know, there's like the boyfriend putting the pressure on and the girlfriend like being kind of standoffish like vibe to that story. Whereas it's like this one, it just seemed like Nancy would like occasionally hold a cross and look at it. So I guess we're supposed to believe that she's a devout Christian, or is at least fearful of God or something.
Yeah, God-fearing.
She's God-fearing, I guess. But like the only thing that really comes up is that like Tina and Rod are fucking in the next room, and that Glenn and Nancy like don't really do that. And they're kind of like, oh, like, haha, like we're the couple, you know, who's too...
Yeah, we're the straight edge couple,
Yeah, like whatever. Like I guess there was kind of a little bit of that, but then there never really turned anything in their relationship. I was like, if maybe like he pressures her for sex and then he dies or something, you know, just something to like have some resolution with that whole punishing the horny teens thing motif, other than just it being like a genre defining thing. Do you know what I mean? Because I just was like, this doesn't really fit. It's about sleep and dreaming. Why does Freddy Krueger want to kill people who are horny? I think he just wants to kill everyone. No? Or just children, I guess.
I don't know. I think that is something that they probably explore later on down the road with the franchise and everything like that. But I really couldn't say. Because something I feel like I know that... I mean, it's implied that he's a pedophile, right? So
I believe in the original script and in the remake, in the remade version from whatever, the 2000s, he's a pedophile. He was a pedophile in the original script. But I guess around the time...
cut that language.
Around the time of the release of the movie, there was like a conviction, or like several convictions for several like noted, child molestation cases, and they didn't want the movie to seem like it was capitalizing off of like this other news story. They were like, they're like, it doesn't really seem right to put this movie out at the same time as all this other stuff. So we'll just have him be a kid murderer, which conveys sort of the same kind of energy. But we don't really need context for Freddy Krueger, because he kind of just shows up and starts killing you. Like he doesn't really seem to have any reason in him. Like he's the boogeyman. I don't really think you need to give the boogeyman a motive. Something like that I had both pros and cons about was the mom character. I forgot her name, but she was sort of
let's
this
get
like
into the mom.
She was this like zanned out mom who like, you know, immediately
like
starts
she
starts hitting the bottle and like taking sleeping pills as soon as shit hits the fan. Like she's like, I'm over this. And it was just sort of confusing to me, because I liked that sort of comedic, the classic drunk mom asleep on the couch, whatever character. But then we get this like jarring turn of events where she reveals to Nancy in the basement that her and Nancy's father, along with several other groups of parents in the neighborhood, went and burned Freddy Krueger's house down with him in it and killed him after he was like released because a search warrant didn't get properly signed, so the whole case got thrown out or something. And like, but like her dad is a cop, and I'm like, so you do have evidence stored in your home that you killed someone, and your husband is a police officer, but you guys are saying it's fine because he was a child killer. But she's like, we went out and killed him. So this had to have happened in the somewhat recent past, during Nancy's life, presumably.
Like, people should know who this guy is,
Right, but also, like, presumably the parents went out and killed Freddy Krueger while Nancy was still alive, because she said parents. So I'm like, when did this happen? It was just really...
Within the last 16 years.
And it was such a jarring turn of, like, the drunk mom being like, okay, no, I have to tell you a secret. I'm the one who killed Freddy Krueger. I was like, this has
and then, like, pulling out his knives.
Pulling out his little...
So whack.
His jewelry. I was literally like, this has to be the beginning of a dream sequence of Freddy trying to trick Nancy or something, right? I was like, this is him stepping up his game and is gonna like set a trap. No, literally, it just like didn't really make any sense. And I meant to go look at the sequels to see if any of the sequels were actually prequels about the original hunting down of the real murderer, Freddy Krueger. But I got kind of hung up because the plot of the second one was generally uninteresting to me. But the plot of the third one is about the dream warriors who undergo group hypnosis so they can go into the dream state to fight Freddy Krueger together, which makes so much sense to me because at the beginning of this movie, Nancy and Glenn and Tina are all talking on their way into school, being like, didn't we have a shared nightmare last night? You guys also dreamed about that weirdly specific guy. Never is it ever brought up again to be like, oh, hey, Glenn, instead of falling asleep, maybe you should, like, enter the dream space with me and we can see if we can, you know what I mean? Like, if she's lucid dreaming, if she's lucid dreaming and she knows he's gonna fucking fall asleep anyway, it's like, pull him in. Get numbers on both sides. I don't know.
Should we get into our regularly scheduled?
Yes.
Is there even people to play Fuck, Marry, Kill with?
There's the lush mom, the cop dad, and Freddy Krueger. We've got Nancy's two parents and Freddy Krueger we could do.
You're gonna kill Freddy Krueger. He's a child, canonically like a child molester.
Wait, okay, I'm gonna say out of everything in the movie, I'm gonna fuck the telephone with the mouthpiece. That's a human mouth.
Nice! Oh my god, the original Rose toy.
She threw that thing away. I'm a little freak. I would have tongued it back. I would have said, oh, in 1984... something like that would have been revolutionary, Freddy.
You would have never seen me move faster.
Right. And then I'm gonna marry Freddy Krueger's sweater with the really long arms. When his arms grow. I guess the sweater was, this is me reciting IMDb fun facts at this point, but the sweater was supposed to be green, or it was supposed to be yellow and black originally, but then Wes Craven read somewhere that the most two opposite colors to the human eye, the most opposing colors to the human eye are red and green. And he felt like that belonged on a bad guy, I guess. Like that fact, he was like, oh yeah, so it needs to be jarring or whatever. So the sweater, but I always thought it was kind of Christmassy. I always kind of assumed it was being a little Christmassy. But I think the fedora and the knife Wolverine claws kind of do round the whole lookout as being pretty iconic. And the skin, you know, the goopy, however you were to describe that. I don't know. Fleshy, skinless. I don't know.
I don't know. And
so then, I'm gonna marry the long arm sweater. I'm gonna fuck the telephone, and I'm gonna kill her dad.
Yeah. As you should. I'm gonna fuck the two fingers that he cuts off just for fun.
Just to show that he's crazy.
Yeah, basically. I'm gonna marry the hole that they must have cut in the bed to pull Johnny Depp through.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna also kill the dad.
Yeah, right.
Kill the cop dad.
Wait, I want to take a bath in that bath and get pulled down into the bath. Nothing related. I liked the bath scene a lot where she got pulled in. That was very aesthetic. I want that to happen to me.
I'm sorry, the visual thing of like the claw hand between the cooch is, I mean, iconic.
That's what point. That shot did have me Googling if Wes Craven was a not chill guy, because I was like, the way that he was like, we need to establish that she's 15, and then we need to show a shot of her spread legs in the bathtub. I was like, is he? Nothing like that that I could find.
I know,
it's more of just like a horror genre.
Wes Craven's fine.
Yeah, it's more of like him paying homage / doing satire of the genre more than like an actual him being weird kind of thing. Which, sure, that makes me feel
great.
Yeah, less shitty about it, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But I guess I read online that the way they filmed that scene was that there was a stuntman like underneath in the water, and that the director would kick the side of the tub to tell him that because he was fully submerged to like indicate that it was time to put the hand up, and they had to do so many shots because he would just like do it and it would be like off kilter because no one could talk to him because he was under the water. So it was just like they're like, all right, try again. And they kick the tub and he'd put the hand back up, which I thought was really funny.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
But so you're hosting a Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sorry, Elm Street? Elm Street? When did we establish where this even takes place? The words Elm Street,
Mary.
I do not believe are uttered once in this film. But a nightmare, sure. Also, I think we lose the article of A quite often. Nightmare on Elm Street. Who is saying a Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, right. Looking this up, I'd just go Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Drop the you know, the Facebook.
Yeah.
But you're having your A Nightmare on Elm Street little Halloween soiree. All in your best Freddy Krueger sweaters, of course. A Freddy Krueger sweater party would be kind of fire.
Yeah.
But what are you going to serve? Other than cunt.
So I really wanted to find, because as we're well aware of now, I'm obsessed with that bed trick, and that kill, Glenn's kill.
Yes, that's the best one.
In and yeah, right, best one. It was really, really good. I loved it so much. But so I really wanted a drink that had like you pull a pin, you know, where like with a shot.
Right.
Didn't end up finding one. I actually weirdly ended up on a page for a white tea shot, and it kind of speaks to me in a way. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's youthful, and this is a movie about the youths.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from with that, because my line of thinking was also like sleepy time tea, a chamomile, a tea, right? I think you could
tea.
A sleep, or like tea. It's caffeine when she's. Oh my god, this movie was so fucking funny. Without even trying to be, when she pulls the fully plugged in operating coffee machine out from underneath her bed after her mom like tucks her in, was so goddamn funny. Her pounding the caffeine. So I feel like tea. You could say like a tea shot is like a keep you up. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
not that it has any caffeine in it, I'm sure, but
no, but this does feel like a movie that I want to do a shot to. Yeah. Which I can't say about many. But I think you do that. And then I was thinking about what I would honestly, if I was genuinely just like serving green tea shots, hanging out with my friends about to watch a movie, what would I actually pull out is pizza bites. But instead of pizza bites, I'm going to step it up a bit. I'm going to say you get a calzone.
Oh my god, our answers are so similar this week, because
really?
I said that you should have a margarita pizza. Because I, again, in the IMDb fun fact section, was learning that the knives that they used in the iconic Freddy Krueger, whatever you would call them, gloves, Wolverine gloves, are not steak knives. Razors. They're not straight razors. They're not steak knives. They are tomato knives. Specifically, like the model of knife they use is just from like a kitchenware company, and it's a tomato knife. That's what they used. So tomato knife, we're gonna slice some thick slices of tomato. I wasn't really feeling the BLT this time of year so much, but I was feeling like autumnal, maybe like a pizza, maybe a margarita pizza, and then literally like sleepy time tea. How do we logically get there? I feel like a London Fog, like an Earl Grey based cocktail, right? We're doing something tea. So you could just like pound melatonin. Everyone at the function has to do a shot of NyQuil, and whoever's up last wins or something. Sure. Like,
yeah, I like that.
When she said that she had been up for 7 days, do you know how delirious and non-functional you'd be? At day 7.
Oh my god! How long? What's the longest you've ever gone without sleep?
Nary longer than 2 days. I don't.
Sure.
My body will just force it on me. I can't really push that shit.
I feel like the longest I've done is like when we went to Copenhagen. Honestly.
Oh yeah, and it was like a travel day, and it was like your eyes were closed on the plane, but you weren't really asleep. But it was still like my body is at rest, but I'm just like too anxious to actually sleep right now. Yeah. That is.
Yeah.
And then you land in a country and it's noon and they're like, you can't check into your hotel until 3. And you're like, I've been up for 20 hours. Like, what do you mean I have to go sightseeing before I can.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, sitting in a cafe, like trying to drink coffee,
right? As if that was a lot. Jen was always really good when I was growing up and wanting to like stay up really late and do like schoolwork. You know, that she's always like at a certain point, your brain is not intaking new information. She like very logically was like, Dara, you are cramming for a test tomorrow, but nothing after 2 a.m. is even making a difference. So like you have to just go to sleep. And she's like, you will always do better on whatever you're anxious about tomorrow if you just sleep now. So I'm not really the type of person to like pull all-nighters or like do crazy shit like that, because Jen just always was like, when you're like sleep deprived, you are worse. I don't know, just like even if you use that time effectively, it just isn't really worth it. So I don't really I love to sleep. I have a sleep disorder, so I stay sleeping whether I like it or not. But I don't fuck with even like people who stay up like really late into the night just by their own choice. Like Henry will like play video games until 3 a.m. Absolutely not. Like I'm on my rhythm. I gotta sleep.
Yeah. I can't say that I'm someone that does that a lot, but I do like the stillness of like 3 a.m. So I can understand that. And then what are you gonna rate this movie? I'm gonna give it a hard 5.
I'm going to give it a 5 as well, actually. Totally agree. But what are you going to follow it up with at your movie party? What are you going to play next?
Yes. Oh, my God.
I'm going to play...
obviously.
Scream. Yeah, I think Scream's a good answer.
Yeah.
I think Beetlejuice. I think we also talked about that. I kind of want...
Yeah.
I was like, I want another fun villain,
something
but
more
like,
fun.
Let's crank up the silly a little bit. Let's like maybe dial down the gore and crank up the silly. And that's Beetlejuice, I think.
Well, I'll tell you what. This movie makes me wish that Scream was a little more... like practical effectsy, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of just, slashing. That's slashing. The thing is he kills him with a knife, There's a lot of room for creativity with this, and I thought the kills were really fun. And I'd like to see Wes Craven, have some other opportunities to get freaky with it.
I don't know, though. How do we feel about, like, he just keeps that Scream franchise going? Like, when are we going to end?
I'm over it at this point. Especially after all the fuck shit they've done with one of their newer stars, so...
Oh, really? What's that about?
Oh, yeah, she got fired for speaking out about Palestine. And and being pro-Palestine. Yeah.
Okay, well then fuck the Scream franchise. I take it all back. Because that's shitty. And that's wild because there are some celebrities who have been outspoken just plenty and haven't received any backlash. I'm like, why? Everyone being like, oh, celebrities are quote unquote afraid to speak up. I'm like, there are several celebrities saying what they think and I guess she had consequences though, so that is actually pretty shitty. But it's like everyone's like, Mark Ruffalo isn't facing consequences. He could say what he wants. That means anyone else can too. Like you can say it. It's okay to say it out loud. Like that's I think a form of censorship, right? It's like fear mongering. But also cool.
Fuck you, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right. Even though she was pretty good in The Bear, I'm going to say not worth it, ultimately, given that she's not chill. But we are ending October. Happy Halloween.
That's it.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
That's it for horror Halloween.
Yeah, stay safe, have fun. Send us your costumes if you dressed up as something fun. I didn't do anything fun this year. I was like a low effort SpongeBob and Patrick, which was kind of a bummer, but
I'm throwing together a quick Joe Cool.
Oh, nice. I just saw a TikTok about how you should not have sex with men dressed up as Snoopy this year because that means that they're on the hunt because they know that Snoopy's big with the girlies now. That you should not be trusting of a man going after, bisexual women who love Snoopy. That's
But what about a woman?
I think it's okay. I actually think it's totally fine if you do it. That's
okay. Great. My sister has a tattoo of Joe Cool, so I think that's my
I love it. I want to be Snoopy in the big puffer jacket.
Oh, stop! That'd be so good.
That would be really good in the little hat.
That'd be really good.
Happy Halloween, everyone! Eat some candy. Eat your faves. have fun. I don't even know what we're really doing next month or going forward. So continue to send us suggestions as always.
We'll figure something out.
Drop us those DMs with movies you want us to cover. We love you. Thank you for listening. And goodbye and good night.